Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. I wanted to do a late evening special report of the ongoing civil war taking place inside the former state of Ethiopia. And before I get into the what is happening on the ground, I would like to say it does look like that YouTube has withdrawn some of its mass demonetization efforts that occurred earlier today. Now, with that being said, because of what happened today and what has happened a couple of different times in the past, I believe it would be reasonable for the channel to start a migration to Rumble. I have created a Rumble account, and my plan is to start a slow migration over to Rumble. YouTube is doing things that is becoming very, very difficult to deal with, and it is no longer a good place for the small content provider to operate. It is much more of a giant corporocratic institution designed to create its own narrative, especially within the mainstream media. But anyway, I'm not going to really get into that too much, but I'll discuss that more in a different video. But circling back to what is happening inside of the former state of Ethiopia, it does appear that Abiy Ahmed, the prime minister, some would say warlord, of the fragmented state of Ethiopia, may be looking to start universal conscription of fighting age males inside the former state of Ethiopia, and that would in effect start with the Amhara region and obviously the Oromia region as well, in terms of the possible universal mass conscription of military age males into the quote unquote Ethiopian National Defense Forces. We can see a lot of similar things to what Abiy Ahmed is doing in the former state of Ethiopia to what is happening inside of the despotic state of Eritrea. And as we know, in that despotic state, there is North Korean-like mass conscription of all males and females, for that matter, once they become of fighting age. So why is this happening? Well, in all probability, it is because of continued battlefield defeats and battlefield losses that the Abiy loyalist forces are suffering, both at the hands of the Tigrayan Defense Forces and the continued success the Oromo Liberation is having, especially in western Oromia, and to a lesser extent in southeastern Oromia as well. But it does look like that, again, he is going to be following in the footsteps, meaning Abiy Ahmed will be following in the footsteps of his mentor, Isaias Afwerki, and in all probability, we could see mass conscription starting to inflate and upend and increase the capabilities of the Abiy loyalist forces, who right now are having great difficulty in any sort of counteroffensive or offensive operations into the Tigray region proper. The TDF continues to be inside and occupy a DRK. Now, will that continue? Difficult to say. We have seen it change hands a few times. Furthermore, we are hearing reports of very heavy and renewed fighting taking place specifically now within the confines of Adidaro and south of Adidaro as well. It looks like that it is possible that Eritrean forces may have broken through Tigrayan Defense Force lines near Adidaro and are pressing their offensive toward Shire. Now look, as the Eritrean army continues to get deeper and deeper into the Tigray region. And as it starts to move past some of this flat terrain and enters this mountainous area, especially to the east of Shire, it is going to compromise itself in terms of facing lengthened logistic lines and, again, fighting in the sort of terrain that the Tigrayan Defense Forces are very much familiar with and prefer operating in, which is that mountainous terrain. But right now, it would appear that Shire continues to be very well defended by the Tigrayan Defense Forces. We know there are multiple lines of defensive positions around Shire, and there are several different key terrain features near Shire as well. As you can see, this mountainous terrain just to the northeast of that city that continues to be very well defended by the Tigrayan Defense Forces. The Eritrean army may have some sort of success in terms of moving into Shire, but that does not mean that sooner or later we could see some sort of counter-operation by the Tigrayan Defense Forces, especially re-entering via this mountainous area just to the north of the city. And then again, if the Eritrean military is able to continue along the B30 highway, again, towards some of these major other cities, towards Axum and the other cities such as Wikro here, we can't expect that these mountainous terrain features to both the north and south of the B30 highway will become just continual bases of operations to harry the Eritrean army columns as it moves down the B30 highway. So it's going to become a very difficult situation for the Eritrean army if, in fact, they continue operations into the northern central Tigray region. But they're not there yet. They have not taken control of Shire. They're north of Shire, but we're going to monitor and continue to report on, of course, what is happening. So that's kind of where we sit right now. We will continue, obviously, to monitor, to report, to bring you content for your consumption in terms of what is happening on the ground. And we will have more videos very, very soon as the situation develops. So again, thanks for joining us today. More to come. I bid you a good evening.